So this is going to be moving towards Centerville, Anderson, North Lake, just outside of Sandy Springs, Gluck, South Carolina. This is along South Carolina Highway 24, and eventually could be moving up into Belton and Williamston and West Pelzer. So if you live in Anderson County, you need to be in your storm shelter as we are watching a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Radar indicated rotation that has prompted this tornado warning. And so this will be moving through Anderson County, South Carolina for the next little bit. Let's read the warning off for you. This is for central Anderson County until 9:45. At 9:16, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located 10 miles southwest of Anderson or near Lake Hartwell, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. This dangerous storm will be near Anderson, North Lake, Anderson Airport, and Homeland Park around 9:30 p.m., Belton around 9:40 p.m. Other locations impacted by this dangerous storm include Sandy Springs, Sadler's Creek State Park, and Broadway Lake. So if you are in those areas, you need to be in your safe place, and that is hopefully the lowest level of your house. If you have a basement or a storm cellar, that's the best place to be. But if not, you want to be in the most centralized location. Make sure you have as many walls between you and yourself and the outdoors, and preferably in a closet or a bathroom, something like that. And you want to stay in there throughout the duration of the storm. You want to make sure that you have some sort of protection on your head, preferably a helmet. And that way, if there is a tornado and there's some debris, your head is protected. And you also want to make sure that your eyes are protected. So some sort of goggles or glasses, something like that would keep debris out of your eyes. So here's the radar representation. A lot of lightning developing in this area. We're actually even seeing some hell core pop up. So that's showing signs of an increasingly stronger storm. And this will continue to move to the northeast, Evan. This storm just a little bit ago was tornado warned in Georgia. And as it moved into South Carolina, they've issued this new tornado warning.
Yeah, it's an interesting storm because it doesn't appear that a lot has changed over the last 5 to 10 minutes when the warning expired and then was reissued. So obviously the pros of the National Weather Service, they know what they're doing. So the storm, we're gonna have to keep our eye on it.
Definitely so. I was looking at our NWS chat. No reports out of that area yet, but they are watching the system. So. We will continue to watch it as well as it moves into Anderson County. So let's go over to our radars here, and let me get the screen share going. And we will show you what's going on. So let's go down to Anderson County. So here is your rotation. This is kind of the area that we are watching. So if you live in Centerville, Homeland Park, and Anderson, and North Lake, you want to be in your storm shelter right now. That looks to be the places in the most danger right now. And that storm is moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So if you live in those locations, you don't have much time to get there. So whatever you're doing right now, if you're listening from that area, you want to be in your storm shelter or your lowest level, your safe place per se, because this storm is quickly moving into Centerville and Anderson, downtown Anderson, South Carolina. So you want to make sure that you are in a safe place as the system moves through the area. And this is all developed on a cold front. I'll show you that cold front. It stretches from Boone down through the mountains of North Carolina into the foothills. Looks like Asheville is clearing Asheville. So if you live from Asheville to the west, we are going to clear you from the severe weather threat. I think that threat is over with. If you live in Seneca, Oconee County, South Carolina, you should be good. We are watching this system right now in Anderson, South Carolina, as that is a tornado warning. And this front is also extended down into Georgia, where there's another tornado warning that we'll have to watch if you live in Greenwood, Lawrence, and Newberry County and McCormick County, as that storm system could be moving into those areas. But again, this tornado warning is for Anderson County. A lot of lightning with this storm. Definitely the possibility of seeing a tornado, and the possibility even seeing a little bit of hail. We see this hail icon, and that's showing us that there could be some hail involved with this system as well. It is dark, so the bad thing about these this is nocturnal tornadoes are harder to see, obviously because it's dark, so that makes them more dangerous. People sometimes let their guard down once it gets dark, and so you want to be sure that you are remaining alert if you live in Anderson County, and even if you live in places towards Malden and Simpsonville and Fountain Inn and even Greenville, as this storm system continues to push off to the northeast. We could see an extension of this warning, so you want to be alert of that. And Evan, we're really still seeing a lot of lightning with this system that's moving into Anderson. So that tells me that this storm continues to be strong as it moves into Anderson County.
Definitely. On my radar, the velocity signature isn't that great, so I'm going to refer to yours. Sorry, you just took it down. But the lightning, oftentimes, when we talk about it in hurricanes, where you see lightning in the high wall and it's a sign of intensification. So sometimes that can be the case in thunderstorms. So hopefully that's not the case here, because all thunderstorms do produce lightning and subsequently thunder. But we'll have to see whether that's a sign that maybe it's not done yet, or if that's just typical, thunderstorm activity.
That's right. So here's the radar again in motion. So this is the area of rotation that we are watching as it moves into Anderson. I will tell you, this has been a long day. James and Ricky went on about 11 o'clock, and then Evan, you joined on. It's been a busy day here in the Carolinas. I'm not sure how many tornado warnings we've covered, but I'll say at least 15, if not more, in the Carolinas. And so this is kind of the last batch of storms. As this cold front moves through the area, we will start to clear some areas from the severe weather threat. But again, right now the tornado warning continues for Anderson County and South Carolina, and that goes until 9:45 p.m. And so right here, we're watching this area of rotation, right in this area. And so Centerville and North Lakes and Anderson, you are under the gun right now. So you need to be in your safe place as this system continues to move towards Williamston and even North Lakes. So this is all because of the cold front moving through the area. We'll go back to this radar frame, and you can see that cold front extends through the North Carolina mountains into the upstate of South Carolina and just outside of the Atlanta metro area. And so once this cold front passes you, your severe weather threat will start to diminish as we get more of a northwest flow set up. And that's actually, Evan, something you was watching a little bit earlier. Some of our friends in the high country could see a few snowflakes early tomorrow morning.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a pretty shallow northwest flow. Don't expect anything in terms of major accumulation, but the wind will start switching around from the northwest as we head into the night, and that'll cause some snow showers to break out. So generally, I would say above 4,500 feet, you got maybe a potential to see some flakes and some flurries. I don't suspect that anywhere even above 6,000 feet would see any major accumulation.
Yeah, and so the Weather Service putting out a revision to this severe thunderstorm. We'll go through it right quick. Hit the wrong one. Sorry about that, folks. I'm a little tired. So let me find my screen share, and I can't even talk now. So screen share, and we'll share this, and let's pull up our tornado warning here, and this continues for another 17 minutes. Tornado warning remains in effect until 9:45 for central Anderson County at 9:26. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Anderson, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, this is a radar indicated, so there's been no visual representation of a tornado. No one has seen a tornado, but there is enough evidence on radar, according to our velocity data, that a potential tornado could be in this area. So this storm will be near Williamston, West Pelzer, and Belton around 9:40. Other locations impacted by this dangerous storm include Broadway Lake. So hopefully no one's out on the lake, but if they are out on Broadway Lake, if you know someone out in that area, you want to message them and tell them to get into safety now. So here is the tornado warning. So here's Centerville, here's Anderson, and that rotation is moving overhead right now. So you're likely, let's see what these winds are showing. So we're seeing some 58, 65 mile per hour wind gusts in this area. Let me go to the radius frame here. So 63, 66. So we're seeing anywhere between 60, 70 mile per hour wind coming through Homeland Park and Anderson right now. So even if there's no tornado, that amount of wind can produce some damage in those areas that are seeing those high winds. And so again, this is relatively close to the radar. So these winds are not far above the surface. I'm looking, our radar is showing about, let's see, about 2,000 feet off the ground, Evan. So that's not too far. Some of that heavier rain can definitely bring down that wind to the surface. So this tornado warning, again, Williamston, you still have got time before this storm gets to you, but now's the time to be in your safe place, as well as West Pelzer and even potentially Piedmont. Now, this is the heaviest portion of this storm, where the heaviest rain and even the potential for some hail would be along Interstate 85. So I'm sure that's some pretty treacherous travel right now on Interstate 85 with some heavy rain, probably blinding rain, and even the possibility of a little bit of hail along Interstate 85 there in the upstate of South Carolina. So that is what's going on. I'm going to check the weather service. Nothing, no damage reports or anything coming in. So that is good. And Evan, this is all because of that cold front that's moving through the area.
Yeah, it is. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show my radar. It's interesting. I love looking at these kind of cold front setups because we see these little appendages in the radar that I was kind of talking about earlier. I was calling them kinks. Well, where we have the two tornado warnings right now, the one in Anderson, you can see how that's standing out a bit, standing out in front of the line almost. Well, there's a little bit of an elbow right there. And down here, this one near Athens is also standing out a little bit out ahead of the front. And where we had our last warning, the one that has since the warnings expired, that was in Henderson County, was right there. So that's typically where we see our tornadoes in these type of events, and it's showing off right now. I mean, this is really exactly how it typically sets up. If you look further to the north, you might. I was noticing these storms that are a little bit out ahead of the cold front, heading towards Morganton, but there's just no rotation in those, and my gut tells me that those are just outside of the zone where there's no. It's not conductive for tornadoes anymore up there.
We're not sad at all. We've had 2 days of tornado warning, so we're ready to take a little bit of a break. So here in the foothills. So let's go back to our GR radar here, and you can see we've seen this hail core really spike up now between Anderson and North Lakes on Highway 76. So if you live on Highway 76, you might see a little bit of hail in this storm, and so. We continue to watch this rotation. Here's that little notch that we're watching, and so we're seeing a little bit of signatures down in this area too. So definitely, if you are in Anderson, Belton, and Williamston, you want to definitely be in your storm shelter, your safe place, because we are watching this embedded potential tornado along this cold front move into the area. So. Moving up, looking towards the upstate into western North Carolina where this cold front, you can also see that we've got some just general thunderstorms moving through the area into Marion, Lake James, up towards North Cove, and back into Rutherford County, as well as Polk and Columbus County. So that is the cold front. So once that cold front gets past you, you should be good for the severe weather. So Asheville, you should be clear of any severe weather threat now. If you live in Oconee County, you should be clear. And even these other counties to the southwest of North Carolina, you are clear. So once this cold front moves through, we should be good. You should be able to rest easy at night knowing that the severe weather has passed. But if you live in the Piedmont, in the Midlands of South Carolina, we still have got to watch this front move through the area. Hope is that once we get later on into the evening, we start to lose some of those dynamics. But I will say it is the winds are still gusty. So ahead of this front, you're still getting south winds coming out, and that is producing some wind. And then with this front coming in, we're kind of getting a west-northwest wind, and so that's why we're kind of seeing these appendages along the line, and that's where we could see these embedded tornadoes develop, and that is what's going on right now in Anderson County. That is where the tornado warning is issued, and as you can see, there's a little bit of an appendage right in this area that we are watching. So if you live in Williamston, Belton, along this area right in here, that's where you want to watch out for the potential of seeing a tornado, and that's Highway 29. So if you live on Highway 29, be on the lookout, especially north of Anderson, South Carolina. So looking up towards Easley, South Carolina, we've got a lot of lightning developing in this storm. And then again, that was the storm that was tornado warned earlier that Evan was just talking about, heading towards Columbus in Polk County. That cell was also tornado warned along the North and South Carolina line. So we'll just continue to watch those. And that looks a little interesting. Oh, that's just bad data. Never mind. My eyes are starting to deceive me a little bit. So again, so that's the front that's moving through. New lightning strikes developing just outside of Marion. So you may hear some lightning or hear some thunder and see some lightning off behind me here in just a little bit. So, Evan, for you guys down at the coast, you all was under that tornado watch, but it was able to be canceled early, and that's a good sign for you all.
It is, yeah. We were just talking with Jared Smith, one of the panelists here with Carolina Weather Group, and he was saying that the parent low is just too far removed from where we are here in coastal South Carolina, and even I think it was canceled for the Wilmington area, he said. So that threat is pretty much diminished. We may still see some showers, maybe a rumble of thunder as this low cold front moves through, but I doubt we'll see much more in terms of substantial storms for the rest of the night down here.
Probably some good sleeping weather as those storms.
Oh, yes.
Let's go back to our attention to Anderson County, South Carolina. We'll see what's going on down there, and we'll get the screen share going. And so let's travel down here to Anderson County, South Carolina. Again, this tornado warning goes until 9:45, so another 9 minutes or so as this system moves into West Pilter and Williamston. Again, if you live along Highway 29 and Interstate 85, kind of that little corridor, that is the biggest threat for a tornado right now. So you want to be in your safe place. Highway 20, that's South Carolina Highway 20, just outside of Belton, going towards Williamston. This area right in here is where you want to be in your safe shelter as this embedded severe thunderstorm moves into the area with the possibility of a tornado. And so that is the dangerous part. We will look over here. Let's switch over to velocities. I like the velocities on radar skip a little bit better, and we'll allow those to load up. And so you can kind of see this area that we are watching is right in this area, right in the, well, I can't get my toggle there. Anyways, it's right in this area that we are trying to watch that rotation. And I've not seen any updates from the Weather Service lately, so the latest update came in at 9:26, so that's about 11 minutes ago. Normally, if there was a tornado on the ground or this was a pretty dangerous storm, we would be getting more updates from the Weather Service. And so the last one we got was about 10 minutes ago. So that tells me that things are kind of staying the same or weakening just a little bit as this cold front moves through. So that cold front is situated in the North Carolina mountains and extends through Boone all the way down through McDowell County into Polk County. and then Greenville County into Anderson, where we have our tornado warning, and then back into the Athens, Georgia area. And so once this cold front moves through, we should start to see the severe weather threat begin to diminish. And I think we're all excited about that. I think we're all ready for the tornado and severe weather threat to end for the day. It's been a very, very busy weekend. We started on Friday with a confirmed tornado just outside of the Raleigh-Durham metro area. We had a tornado warning yesterday in Burke County, and then we've had multiple tornado warnings today throughout South and North Carolina. So it's been a very busy severe weather week. I know our panelist Chris Jackson was out in Mississippi and Louisiana yesterday. Hopefully he'll be able to talk on Wednesday night about his experience out there chasing this weekend. But it's been a very crazy weekend for severe weather, and I think we're all ready for a little bit of a break. And tomorrow is going to be actually a good weather day, mostly sunny skies with highs in the 60s and potentially low 70s throughout the Carolinas, and a good day to kind of just kick back and relax, as we've had 3 busy days with severe weather. This severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado continues to move through Anderson County along Highway 29 and Highway 20. So if you live in West Pilser and Williamston and, Belton, I think you'll be okay, but you still want to be in your shelter. I think the main part of this storm will pass to your north, but you still want to remain in your shelter if you are in this tornado warning. So Williamston and West Pelzer, those are the 2 concerns right now as this system moves into your area. So Highway 29 and Highway 20 is where we are watching the potential for a tornado to develop. So let's see, anything from the Weather Service in here? Looks like they are talking about they're issuing some strong thunderstorm statements. And so that's for Anderson, Greenville, Lawrence, and Spartanburg County. So that might be a prelude to what we will see with the warning here that expires in about 5 minutes, Evan. So right now, honestly, looking at it, nothing really crazy sticks out to me. I'm not sure about you.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 minutes ago, the scans picked up some decently organized rotation, but since then, I can't really pick out a great organized spot where the velocity and where that rotation might be on radar. And I'm assuming the National Weather Service is seeing the same thing. So
yeah, and they have just canceled the warning early, so they've canceled it about 5 minutes early. So that tornado warning has been canceled and replaced with a thunderstorm statement. So that is good news. And I don't see anything else to me that sticks out. So Evan, if it's okay with you, we'll go ahead and end this coverage, and we'll hope that this is the last break-in we have to do for the evening. Is that cool with you?
I sure hope it's the last one.
I hope so too. So for Evan Fisher, I'm Scotty Powell here for the Carolina Weather Group. We hope you have a great evening. We will remain watching the radar, and if anything else breaks out, we will break back into live coverage. Thank you for joining us on the Carolina Weather Group, and thank you for watching us all day long. We appreciate that. Remember to like us on Facebook and on Twitter at Carolina WX Group on Twitter, at Carolina Weather Group on Facebook. And we also air on Wednesday nights. We have a weekly Wednesday night weather show that you can watch every Wednesday night at 8:15 p.m. on the Twitter account and Periscope and Facebook Live and YouTube. And you can also download our podcast. Just go to your favorite podcast outlet, either in the Apple iTunes store or the Google Play Store, and type in Carolina Weather Group, and you can download and listen to our show. So hopefully this is the last time we have to break in. But if not, we will be back here if we need to. But for now, I am Scotty Powell with Evan Fisher. We hope you have a great evening.